Hey everyone, Canadian Renegade here. It's been a long day, but I still want to talk about one more thing on a quick video here. So today's topic is going to be about canola and how it's a pervasive weed on the job sites that I frequent. And I have my theories about that. You can see we're in the city here, nowhere near any sort of agricultural areas. And what's that ahead of us? Looks like canola. So I see this sort of thing all the time on job sites. Okay, so I took a break because of random basketball kid going by. I didn't want it to be too distracting. But we have canola growing here in the city. Now I suspect that it's brought in when any sort of topsoil is brought in. But I think one of the reasons why it just seems to be so pervasive is that it's GMO. So if they do spray to get rid of it, it doesn't really work. You have to pick it by hand. And you can see further down there on the left, actually let's go take a quick look here. You can see there's some more here. I've seen job sites that are completely covered with this stuff. But usually when it's that situation, it's an old farmer's field that they've turned into residential, and they've probably just scraped off all the topsoil, but a lot of the seeds remain. That's usually when I see it. A lot of times I'll even see them growing in clay. You can even see down here, this next one. There's one there. And there's some growing over here, but you can see over here that there is some sort of loose soil brought in, so that might be what's going on. The only other thing I could think of for situations like this is maybe if it's in some sort of bird seed, but I've heard that, or even before I started noticing this, I've heard that canola can be a problem, like a weed problem, especially the GMO variety, because you just can't get rid of it. I'm going to wrap up with a few factoids about canola. So canola is actually an acronym. It stands for Canada Oil Low Acid. And canola is basically a type of rapeseed. And rapeseed is part of the brassica family. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of where it comes from. Now the low acid that they're talking about is erucic acid, which is toxic in high concentrations. There was quite a few studies done on it in the 70s, and I think it increased the rate of heart attacks in pigs and other animals. But they did find that rapeseed was a useful oil, so they wanted to have a safer version of it. So there's a couple of Canadians that worked on it and developed it in the 70s, and it's turned into one of Canada's biggest crops. Now, my personal opinion of canola oil is it should be avoided most of the time. I'm not going to freak out if I occasionally eat a little bit of canola oil, but I'd say the majority of fast food and processed foods that contain oil, it's either going to be like soybean oil, which I also avoid, or cottonseed oil, which isn't even really a food, or it's going to be canola oil, which the erucic acid in canola is supposed to be less than 2%. At those levels, there's not supposed to be a danger of heart attacks. However, I would say it's probably still inflammatory, maybe just not immediately dangerous. So there's a few things for you to, I guess, mull over and think about. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that canola is an acronym. All right, guys, have a good evening or day or whatever. Take care.